Christmas Stories for Little Children is my favorite Usborne Christmas book. It has 6 stories inside. 3 of them are Santa stories and 3 of them are snowman stories. And the first one, it's called The Elf and the Toy Maker. And in this story, there's a little elf named Elfie. And Elfie is not a fan of what job he has to do. He starts to investigate other possibilities and ends up falling into the toy making machine. And while he's in there, he causes some trouble, and instead of the toy making machine spitting out toys, it starts spitting out Elfie dolls. So very fun book. I think it's kind of a fun book, especially if your child's starting to think, why are there so many Elf on the Shelf dolls? Well, the story kind of explains what happened. The next story is The Fake Santa. And in this story, Santa is off delivering presents, but then he comes face to face with some really upset people, and he's not sure why they're so upset with him. And he comes to realize that the problem is there's a fake Santa that's stealing all the presents, so he's got to solve this problem. In the next story, it's called Santa's Day Off, and Santa is super excited because it's December 26th, and he finally gets to relax after Christmas. But he ends up not being able to relax because he's got problems that he has to solve. There's a polar bear not letting the elves into their house, and there's somebody that they forgot to give a Christmas gift to, and there's some sheep stuck on a frozen pond. And so Santa has to solve all those problems before he can finally rest after Christmas. The next story is called Chili and the Bonfire. And in this story, there's a little boy who builds a snowman, and his next door neighbor is going to have a Christmas party and a big bonfire. But they have a problem. Every time they build a pile of sticks, it disappears. And they're starting to wonder what's happening. And then they realize it's the snowman that's moving the sticks because he doesn't want to be melted. And then in the next story, it's called Snowy and Icy. And in this story, there's a few different snowmen. One of them is built by a girl who has all sorts of money and has a really fancy snowman. And her servants were actually the ones who built the snowman. And then here we have Emma. And Emma doesn't have the nicest stuff for her snowman, but she's still very happy with it. And then her snowman, Snowy, runs off trying to look for things that will make his outfit a little bit nicer. But the mean, rich snowman tried following Snowy, and every time he tried to do something mean to Snowy, something bad would happen to him. And here you see he's cutting off a branch that he's sitting on. And by the end of the story, he is a mess by trying to sabotage this snowman. But in the end, the snowman wins first prize. The last story is called Freezy's New Buttons, and Freezy ends up with some very beautiful shiny buttons, but he realizes that these buttons are actually really expensive jewels that thieves had stolen. And so he has to come up with a plan to catch the thieves and return the jewels. So very fun stories in this book. I love reading them. They're very well written. They're fun to listen to. They're a little bit different than some of your traditional Christmas stories. And my kids enjoy reading them year after year. Even as my kids are getting older, they're still enjoying the stories. You know, not just for little children. Perfect for little children because they're short, but also perfect for older kids because the stories are so well written. So I strongly encourage you to check out this book.